Children were among those killed in Al Yaduda, a small town just 10 kilometers north of Daraa city in southern Syria. Early on Thursday, the Syrian government and its allies began a large-scale military operation after efforts to reach an agreement with locals fell through. Rebel forces rejected the government's proposal to lay down their arms. Daraa al-Balad, a southern district of Daraa city, has been under siege for 1 month, with the government preventing the delivery of food and medicine, calling on armed rebels to turn themselves in.
Whoever picks up weapons against the army is a traitor, and traitors should be killed, whoever they are.
The U.S. and India's top diplomats have pledged to deepen ties between their countries and strengthen a regional front against Beijing's assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Indian Foreign Minister Subrahmanyam Jaishankar met in New Delhi for a series of meetings and a joint press conference. Blinken announced a $25 million fund to support India's COVID vaccination program, and the two also discussed cooperation on Afghanistan. High on the agenda was also the Quad alliance between the U.S., India, Japan, and Australia, which was set up to counter China's growing influence. The pair stressed their countries' shared values and pledged to strengthen the Quad.
Harvey Weinstein has lost a bid to have 2 charges against him, including rape and sexual assault, thrown out of court. A Los Angeles judge made the ruling on Thursday. The former Hollywood producer's legal team argued that the statute of limitations in California has already expired on the counts. Weinstein was convicted of rape in New York City last year. He now faces a battery of new charges in L.A. Despite the judge's ruling, his lawyers said the facts were on their side. The judge did throw out one of the 3 charges challenged by Weinstein's legal team, although court documents show that it was later amended and refiled. Weinstein was sentenced to 23 years in prison following his New York conviction, a conviction that he is appealing.
The International Space Station was thrown briefly out of control on Thursday after a newly arrived Russian module malfunctioned, according to NASA. Officials said the 7 crew members aboard weren't in any immediate danger, but the malfunction has prompted the agency to postpone another highly anticipated test flight to the station by Boeing. NASA said Thursday's mishap began about 3 hours after Russia's Nyoka module had latched onto the space station, as mission controllers in Moscow were performing some post-docking reconfiguration procedures. The module's jets unexpectedly restarted and inadvertently fired off their thrusters, pitching the entire station out of its normal flight position, leading the mission's flight director to declare a spacecraft emergency. Flight teams on the ground managed to restore the space station's orientation by activating thrusters on another module of the orbiting platform.
The unrest have had a very terrible impact on the Gauteng economy. So far, the preliminary estimation is that the cost in rand terms, the damage caused by the unrest is, this is the preliminary estimation, 3.5 billion rands. A lot of this is in stock that would have been looted, and the destruction that has happened. This preliminary 3.5 billion rands in damages doesn't include a lot of the uninsured township-based businesses.
Detectives inspect a detached parachute in a Torquay paddock near where a skydiving instructor plunged to his death. It was a tandem jump just before 1 this afternoon. 3 pairs jumped from the plane, 2 landed safely at the airport, but 1 instructor and passenger got into trouble. Police detectives coincidentally saw the drama as they drove nearby, describing the parachute spiralling in a corkscrew movement towards the ground, quickly but not plummeting.
The parachute didn't open. There were emergency attempts made with the instructor to open up the chute and unfortunately couldn't open up the chute.
The instructor in his mid-30s was initially conscious, on all fours, trying to get up and talking, but collapsed and died.
Disney has fired back at Scarlett Johansson after the Marvel actress filed a lawsuit alleging the company breached her contract. She says the company broke their agreement by simultaneously offering the blockbuster Black Widow, both via streaming and in theaters. In a statement, Disney said there was, quote, no merit to the lawsuit, and said streaming had significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has received to date. Johansson's filing in Los Angeles Superior Court argued that the dual release strategy of Black Widow reduced her compensation, which was based partly on box office receipts from what was supposed to be an exclusive run in cinemas. Her lawsuit also claims that Disney wanted to steer audiences toward Disney Plus,